I love it when people say to me that the internet is bad. It's the same people who tells me that money is evil. The breath. Using your breath in challenging times. If you have to follow what is trending today, it would be all doom and gloom. And doom and gloom is there. It's always there. It's always been. It's a constant. It's going to be always in the ethers all around us. Our choice, though, is how we manage this doom and the glooming. There's so many things happening these days that are affecting so many different people in so many different ways. But we have one weapon, and that's our breath. How we react to all what is being heard, being done, whatever. Even in when there is joy, somebody will punch a hole in it and say, yeah, but it has a hole over here. Did you see that? So today, I'm going to just give you guys like a few of the things that we all encounter. And what it is there are different ways that the world and those inhabitants in it that are there to tell us what is wrong with us or to steal from us, to take from us. We know that, okay? And when you have other people in your life, one of the things you have to remember is that sometimes, just sometimes, the information you get is not directly for you. You do not need to use it. You are aware. You're focused. You listen to the news. You gather information. You know that this is happening all over the world. And then so you are, in the back of your mind, you got it. But there's so many of us who do not get it. We go through the world and we just figure it's the same world. We don't even listen to the news because it's depressing. We don't listen to that because it's just horrible things. Okay, fine. But you have to be in this world that we're living in. You do not have to carry the pain of what they're saying with you, but you need to be aware. Okay, so you are aware. Our friends are not always aware. And sometimes they end up doing things that they don't realize that this world is a vicious world. So trending, they say to me, is the price of gas. Trending, they say to me, is scamming everybody. In challenging times, you don't only have to be on your P's and your Q's. You have to be alert because the scammers everywhere, they do not stop. They really, truly do not stop. They get worse now because they have to find a way. They're not working or they don't intend to work or they're working. Whatever their reasons are, they're scamming hundreds and thousands of people all over the world. If you're looking for someone to be a speaker at any of your events that you're planning, get in touch with me. My email address is right here. And you can contact me and I would love to give you more about making life choices to you or any of the topic on living a fulfilled life. And the person that is not fully aware of the internet, for example, because they scroll, they do little things, but they're not really into the internet. They're afraid of TikTok. They're afraid of this. I can't be bothered. But then they get an email. They open that email and the world turns upside down in a few hours, a few weeks, and sometimes over months. And that is very common and it's happening now. So you might not know, you're aware and you might not fall for all of this. But that's what, after yesterday's topic, that's what I got information about. Talk about it. My aunt got scammed for over $5,000, this woman said to me. So please talk about it. But then I asked her this question: does your aunt listen to the news or go on the internet and all of that? No. So she's not aware that these things are happening. How old is your aunt? She's 69. You know, I love it when people say to me that the internet is bad. It's the same people who tells me that money is evil. And neither of those can function without you cooperation from you and me. So how come internet is bad, social media is bad, money is evil, and we're in this world that we have to be aware. Money on its own is not going to get up and run downtown and spend it. The internet you have an option. You can press a button, learn something, and go from there. But when somebody tells you that I am not doing this because I'm afraid of it, that's the person that might one day just press the wrong button. Take the time to explain it. So her aunt lost $5,000. And the story was quite long. She didn't have any more money. But it didn't even end there. They came back again. They go back again. So I had to suggest to her that you monitor for your aunt. Like, just check things for her, whatever. Her accounts, check things. Check her phone. Talk to her. Show her what she should, if she doesn't recognize it, if it doesn't make sense. And explain to her that the bank will never send somebody to your house, a courier service, to pick up your credit card if there is fraud on your credit card. They can just block it. They can stop it. They don't need to have somebody come to your door and take it. When that is happening, that is a scam. Everybody has a sad story, and everybody can make up a sad story, so they get the money. So her aunt was called again, or how she got into it. I think the first one was an email. Then she must have talked to them or given her phone number, whatever. So they phoned her. And there she was. She again went, and they told her that your credit card is being compromised. And we're going to send a courier over to pick it up from you. The bank will not do that. The bank knows exactly where you are, and they know everything about you. They don't need you to verify anything, they will not pick up your credit card at your door. They can just block it. They can disable it. They can do so many things with it with a click. And I have told you guys this story about Mr. Shapiro. Mr. Shapiro was a man that fought with us for 25 cents on the months that had 31 days on his term deposit. It was a 30-day term, but on the 31st of a month, he came in there with his numbers, a sheet of paper, he and a man named Mr. Ken Smith. And they showed up, and then the others followed. But Mr. Shapiro was really diligent about that. Then his wife died, and he was alone. He has a son. A lady in the building he lived, friend, got to be his friend, and told him, I'll feed you. I'll, do stuff for you. So he's vulnerable, just lost his wife. He gave her his access card to shop. And I don't know what she did, but I was woken up at 2:00 one morning because the fraud department wanted to know if I knew this particular customer because I was his account manager. Yeah. Well, would he be at the casino at this time? No, he wouldn't. He's an old person. I'm going to block his access card and freeze his account. I said, okay. So the morning when I went into work, freeze, block, she had already scammed him for over $20 at the casino, $20,000 at the casino, just over a few days. And they finally realized it wasn't him because of the way she did it. Let me tell you something. Before I could say good morning, she showed up at the bank and threatened to let him starve to death because we took her access card and we blocked it and all of that. And nobody can feed him, and it's me doing all of that. So we didn't say anything to her. We called his son. But by the time we called his son, she'd already made an appointment to go with him to a lawyer to make a will, to transfer everything to her. Luckily, the son called him, and he said he was going to the lawyer with a lady there to get everything put on her name. So you have to be aware of family members that are vulnerable. They don't know those things. And they just sit there with the phone and you think it's easy. It's not. So this is what happened. And I stopped working in 2009, even then. And that was somebody he knew in the same building. Nowadays, they can be in Timbuktu. When you get an email and the spelling, if they cannot spell Oklahoma, Indiana, or New York, or Toronto, that person, English is their 79th language. They know 78 other languages before they learned English and dialects. So be aware that the bank has a fraud department that will take 3 or 4 floors of a tower. And they have all kinds of auditors, forensic auditors. And when you hear that, you think it's blood and guts. No, it's not. It's just that they go deeper than most and they can pick something up and they can pull the thread through. They don't need our help. So if you know somebody who constantly gets those calls, an older person or somebody who just believes if they go on the internet to learn, they're going to go to hell, they'll die, or it takes up all your time. Again, it's control. So the last 2 minutes, although I said use your breath, I had to tell this all. The thing about the magical breath that we have, that just takes itself, we can control it. Before you make a decision to point and click and to agree, take a deep breath. It does not have to be a shoulder deep breath, just a pause. Use your breath to get you balanced. Use your breath before you say something you regret. Use your breath before you go down the rabbit hole of thoughts. Use your breath before you point and click. Use your breath before you put things in your mouth. Use your breath before you go out into the world. Breathe before you step into the world. Life is not supposed to be a rush. So if somebody is rushing you to make a decision and putting pressure on you, take a breath. Just pause. And when you pause, if you were me, what would you do now? Ask that question. Not of the person, but of yourself, that in the true you. This is the shell that we chose to inhabit. Our true us is inside. That is why when they ask you, what do you do tell me about you, you start telling them, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a this, I'm that. No, you're not all of that. You are compassionate or you're kind. You're ruthless or whatever. That is the true you. I believe others are great. I do not criticize others. I am not a critic. That's the true you. I do my best. So the shell is a different thing. So take a breath and find out from the zone, the core, your deep, who am I? And you can actually sit in contemplation and ask that question, and you're never too old to figure this out. Because the moment you find out who you are, really who I am, that gives you freedom. You will get that though in the stillness of a breath. Learn to take those breaths. Pause. Pause, pause, pause. Slow and steady wins the race. Go slower so you can go further before tripping. You can talk to yourself about that. We all know that if we take our time and settle this and plan this, even the shopping spree, even plan how you're going to use your gas because the price is up there somewhere. So plan how you're going. You do not have to go helter-skelter. You do that though when you are not breathing, when you're not aware of that breath. So you go helter-skelter over here when maybe you could have gone and follow another route and get to the point where you have to go at a less hurried pace and get there the same way. So in these turbulent times of chaos and all of this, and it's like Thor, the Nordic god called Thor. He had a hammer, and at the time he just went over the world hammering people down. When you are facing that, you have to try to cover yourself. How do you cover yourself? By holding your breath. So maybe, just maybe, Thor will not feel your breath. You're not rushing and crush you. Because that's what the world is offering us right now. So talk to your seniors, to the older people, your family, those people that you know, your friends, your neighbor. Just keep an eye on them. And if they ask you a question, or you know somebody that might be vulnerable, or your friend comes and says, oh, I found a new boyfriend and da-da-da-da, and he lives in Indiana, and he lives in Tokyo, or not really, but they never tell you where they really live. And it's somewhere for some reason, it's in the continents that are not so close to us. And you fall for it. So talk to them. So Don said, I find it helpful to put things on a wish list in Amazon rather than quickly buying with little thought. Well, yes, you can always have it in the bucket, whatever they call it. It's a box, a bucket, whatever. Anyway, you can put it there, which is true. Don said that. The point of pausing is important. Take a breath is important. I know COVID, we had nothing else to do but point and click. But COVID is not here anymore. And the money does not go as far as it can go. The government does help, but it helps those that have a lower income. But on a fixed senior's income, it affects you. So you have to be wiser with your money. And, and it's not everybody that comes and say, gimme, or lend me, or borrow from you is the right thing to do. Because my mother, Dorothy, 5'2.5", I give her a half inch, said, when somebody asks to borrow money from you, and the person is close enough to ask, that means their friend or their family. The minute you do that, you have to realize you need to say goodbye to the money or you will lose the friendship. Or if you insist on doing it and expect it back, be prepared to lose the friendship and lose the money. You choose which one you'd rather lose, your money. Because if they don't pay you, they might not call you. They might not talk to you. Shame will keep them away. So you're going to lose anyway. So if the person says, can I borrow? You have to decide, can I do without it? Do I ever need it again? And give it. And do not expect it back. So I know but that is all the ways people are being scammed these days. So guys, thank you for coming.